Good morning, friends. Myself, Dr. Alien Ghatge, head of the Department of Business Economics, DG College of Commerce, Satara. Today, we are going to discuss the paper Cooperative Development in India. You have entered in TY class, and in TY class, you have to appear for the examination point of view. 6 papers you have to study, and cooperative development in India is one of them. We have to complete this paper in 2 parts. First part is related to semester 5 and second part is related to semester 6. While discussing about the syllabus which we are considering, we must know the objectives of the this particular paper. We must know the objectives. One of the most important thing we may have to consider, students, that cooperative development is one of the most important feature of developing country like India. And in a developing country, cooperation is necessary for all-round development. Cooperation is must for overall development of a country. For common people, we can develop their economic condition, social condition, educational progress, and all the aspects related to human development. Student, in this particular stage, you must know what is cooperation, what is the nature of cooperation, what are the principles of cooperation, because while considering the importance of the cooperation, importance of cooperative sector, we must know this concept. That's why in this particular semester we may have to consider in the first topic, what is cooperation, what is the meaning of cooperation, what is the nature of cooperation, how cooperative institution exists and how the cooperative institution works, what are the principles behind it, we may have to consider here. Second thing we may have to consider here, dear students, how cooperative movement develops in India. All of us know that in 19th century British government has given permission to us to start the cooperative movement through the first Cooperative Act 1904, and this first cooperative act has given permission to us to develop the cooperative institution in various sectors. Dear students, we may have to acquire the knowledge regarding the different type of cooperative institutions developed in India since 1904 to up to this date. Now we are going to discuss the syllabus which we want to consider in this particular semester. First unit is related to introduction of cooperation. Just I told you that at the initial stage we must know what is the meaning of cooperation, what are the definitions of cooperation, what are the features of cooperation. In this section I may have to include one thing, that cooperation is mutual understanding. Cooperation is to work together. Cooperation is to work together for all-round development of a community, all-round development of a man, as well as cooperative institution works for the service of common man, service of members, and that's why we must have to know the meaning. Details regarding the meaning, definitions and features we will consider on the syllabus. Then we can continue the contents of the syllabus. Here we may have to collecting the information about the syllabus. Second most important thing we may have to consider, as we have accepted cooperation, cooperative organization, cooperative institutions role, one thing is clear, that we must have to obey some principles regarding this. Cooperative organization is based on the principles. These principles have been laid down at the initial stage by Rochdale pioneers in 1844. Later on, the development of principles of cooperation have taken place, and at present we are implementing Manchester Principles of Cooperation. Manchester Conference was held in 1995 in Britain and in the city of Manchester, and whichever principles have been developed there, those principles are known as Manchester Principles of Cooperation. These principles are related to democratic organization, democratic control, people's democratic control, cooperative education and training, people's participation, economic participation in cooperation, as well as cooperation among the cooperatives, and the each and every member's role in the cooperative institutions. Voluntary cooperation is a voluntary organization. In this connection, these are the features, principles we may have to consider in Manchester Principles of Cooperation. Now the third part we may have to consider. As we have established cooperative organization, cooperative institution, what is the role of cooperative institution in rural development? We must know, friends, that India is a developing country and cooperative movement is necessary for poor people, because more than 50% people now in this country are living in a poverty line. For eradication of poverty, we must have to develop the cooperative institutions, we must have to accept the cooperative organization, and that's why there is greater relationship between cooperation and rural development. The interrelationship between cooperation and rural development, we must have to consider the role played by cooperative sector. First of all, we may have to consider for agricultural development, credit is necessary. That's why marketing is necessary. Services provided by the different type of cooperative institutions. Agro-based industries are necessary for agricultural development. In this way, total agriculture development is based on the role played by cooperative institution. As well as we must know that industrial development is also depend upon cooperative institutions. Industrial development is based on the cooperative institutions. A variety of industries can develop with the help of cooperative organization, and with the help of cooperation we can minimize the problems faced by industries, and without industrialization we cannot develop the rural area. Apart from this, we may have to consider rural development is based on the small scale industries. Rural development is based on the educational facilities. Rural development is based on the infrastructural facilities. All these facilities can be developed through the cooperative institutions, and rural development includes all these things. Rural development includes agriculture, rural development includes the industrial development, rural development includes the infrastructural development, rural development includes the allied sector development, rural development includes the dairy development. In this way, for all rural development, cooperation, cooperative institutions can play vital roles. And in this connection, this contents reveals the role played by cooperation in rural development. Fourth one content we may have to consider here, that is the progress of cooperatives in India since 1991. Here we must know that cooperative movement starts in India in 1904. Since 1904 to 1947 we were in a colonial stage, and British government has laid down some rules and regulations for the development of cooperative institutions. So that really speaking, cooperative movement in India before 1947 has not developed independently. But we have started. We must have to give credit to the British government that British government has passed the Cooperative Act, first Cooperative Act. And on the basis of first Cooperative Act, we have developed cooperative movement since 1904 to 1947. In 1947, we got freedom, and after freedom, we have developed a cooperative movement independently since 1951. 1951 to 1990, these 40 years period, state and central government has given economic boost, social boost, and all sort of help to the cooperative movement, so that cooperative movement develops since 1951 very fast for the various sectoral development. Here our syllabus is related to 1991. Since 1991, all of us know that we have accepted new economic policy, and after new economic policy, we have adopted globalization, privatization and liberalization. Within this competitive situation, cooperative movement develops in a variety of problems, and these problems we may have to consider, and with the help of cooperative credit, cooperative industrial cooperatives and other cooperatives in respect of cooperative movement. Friends, second content is related to cooperative credit institutions. Just I told you that India is a developing country, India is an agricultural country. Being an agricultural country, credit needs are most important for agricultural development. It has been said that Indian farmer is living in a debt, and in such type of critical position, farmer suicide problem has arisen at present, and for this purpose, cooperators have decided that credit requirements have been provided by the cooperative institutions, and that's why in India cooperative movement has developed through the cooperative credit institutions. And that's why, as Germany has developed the cooperative movement through cooperative credit, we have also developed the cooperative movement in our country through the cooperative credit institutions. While considering cooperative credit institutions, we must know the structure of cooperative credit institution in our country. We have adopted pyramid type structure for cooperative institutions. All of us know that farmer require loan for agricultural development in three different type of categories. First, short-term credit, medium-term credit, and long-term credit. And for the submitting the needs of short-term and medium-term credit, we have developed pyramid type 3 cooperative institutions, that is PACs, district central cooperative banks and state cooperative banks, for providing short and medium term credit facilities to the farmers. And for long term credit, we have established long term credit is provided through the Land Development Bank. Now the name has been changed since 2002. Agricultural and Rural Development Banks. Long term credit is provided through these banks, and these banks are working at state level as well as district level. This structure gives us information regarding how the credit needs of the farmers have been submitted by the cooperative credit institutions. Now we are discussing the different type of credit institutions working for the betterment of agricultural development. Agricultural development is based on the development of credit needs given by PACs and non-agricultural credit societies. PACs is the backbone of rural development. PACs means primary agricultural cooperative societies. In a developing country like India, particularly the states like Maharashtra, Gujarat, Tamil Nadu have developed PACs for providing the agricultural credit needs to the farmers. PACs are working at village level. Each and every village, we have developed PACs in Maharashtra, and these PACs are working at village level. The various functions of PACs are related to the rural development or the village development. Overall village development is depend upon agricultural development, credit requirement, as well as to provide the seeds, as well as to provide the guidance regarding the agricultural development, as well as to provide the storage facilities to the farmers through the PACs. In this way, primary agricultural cooperative credit societies are working for the betterment of village level farmers' economic condition. Along with this, non-agricultural credit cooperative societies have been developed in our country since 1904, and particularly in 1951 we have developed non-agricultural credit societies in our country for agricultural development. In rural as well as urban areas, non-agricultural credit cooperative societies have been developed. While considering the organization, functions, performance and problems of these two types of institutions which are working in rural area as well as urban areas, primary agricultural cooperative societies are working at village level, and for agricultural development they devote their role, as well as they are working for the betterment of farmers in all-round development of his farm as well as his social development. In this way, non-agricultural credit cooperative societies are working in rural as well as urban areas. Non-agricultural credit cooperative societies are working for developing the industrial view among the rural people, rural youth, and we have developed non-agricultural credit societies in our country since 1951. The functions, various functions related to non-agricultural credit cooperative societies are to promote the employment opportunities for rural and urban youth. And in this connection, the state like Maharashtra is ahead among all the states in India in respect of developing employment opportunities through providing the credit facilities to these youths. And in this connection, while considering the performance of PACS as well as non-agricultural credit societies for the development of rural as well as urban areas, it doesn't mean that all is well. All these two types of cooperative credit institutions facing number of problems, because in a developing country like India, PACS have to face number of problems. Non-agricultural credit cooperative societies have been faced so many problems, and these problems we will consider in detail at the time of detailed lecture in this particular content. Now we are taking the summary of the contents which we want to consider in this particular semester. Second most important part, we may have to consider district central cooperative banks. District central cooperative banks are working at district level, and they have established hundreds of their branches at district level. Variety of villages have covered district central cooperative banks branch. In a particularly in Maharashtra, we may find district central cooperative banks functioning as well as district central cooperative banks organization in well manner for the development of rural people. These district central cooperative banks provides variety of facilities to the farmers. District central cooperative banks works for the betterment of PACS. Particularly, district central cooperative banks provides loans to the youth also, loans to the industrialists also. District central cooperative banks is the organization of PACS, and particularly 70% to 80% of credit needs have been provided by the district central cooperative banks. The chain which we have accepted, NABARD, State Cooperative Bank, District Central Cooperative Bank and PACS, we have accepted this structure, and within this structure district central cooperative banks are working in our country. And Maharashtra, Karnataka, Gujarat, Tamil Nadu have made considerable progress regarding the district central cooperative banks. District central cooperative banks also face some of the problems nowadays, because cooperative sector is facing number of problems since 1991, that is the LPG policy. Due to new economic policy, cooperative sector is lagging behind, and competitiveness among the cooperative sector has not strengthened since last 25 years. That's why district central cooperative banks also facing number of problems. The details regarding the problems we will consider at the time of content discussion. Here one of the most important thing we may consider regarding the fourth unit of the second sub unit of the syllabus, that is the state cooperative banks. State cooperative banks works at state level. State cooperative bank is the organization of district central cooperative banks. State cooperative bank becomes the leader of cooperative credit institutions in the state. It is the duty of the state cooperative bank to develop cooperative institution among the state, to provide the credit and other provide services to the different type of cooperative institutions, to develop different type of cooperative institutions in the state. Organization of state cooperative bank is the summation of or the inclusion of PACS, district central cooperative banks, other banks, and these banks works for the betterment of the people living in a particular state. State cooperative banks functions are related to provide the loan facilities, to provide the other facilities to the people, as well as to develop the cooperative sector among the state, to provide the financial facilities to the state,